Hello, past clients, current clients, and future clients. I'm Rebecca Lindquist, the speech, voice, and accent coach in the Bay Area. And I'd like to share with you today the concept of speech snafus. So many of you may focus on what you should be doing correctly, but it's also important to know what you should be avoiding and not doing. And the biggest snafu, in my opinion, is the idea that we should all talk slow. Have you ever been given that advice? You need to slow down? Or have you ever wanted to help someone by giving them speech advice and said, hey, you should really talk slower. I think you should slow down. Well, I'd like to share with you why that's really bad advice, even though you have the best of intentions. So I'd like to liken it to something which is quite different. So when I mention this, you're going to think, what does that have to do with speech? But I'm mentioning the concept of global warming. So when I say the words global warming, the words don't actually fit the meaning. In a sense, they do, yes, the environment is getting hotter, we have greenhouse gases heating the climate. But in addition to that, there are places where they have rain and snow and ice. And so some people say that doesn't really make sense. That's not really global warming. But yet, yes, it is, because it's a complex issue where we may have periods of cold weather in certain places, but it still does not mean that the climate isn't warming. It actually is. And the same is true with your voice. Talking slowly isn't going to give you the result that you want. But yes, talking quickly is something that people will notice, and they may say to you, you sound like you're talking really fast. So similar to this concept of global warming not really being that it's hot everywhere all the time, talking slowly doesn't mean you should speak very slow all the time, but it means something's going on with your speech. There's something not right with it. And I would argue that it's the pacing you need to focus on, being able to control your pacing. Now, the next part of the snafu is people go, oh yeah, I need to pause. Oh yeah, I need to talk fast and then breathe. So you can't change your breathing on the fly, and you can't pause because you think you have to. You need to basically re-engineer your system and your timing so that your pacing can be different. The best way to do that, yes, is to become aware of your patterns and to work on syncing your breath with your speech. But it's also about intimately understanding your timing. So let's say, for example, that you're really stressed out. You've got so much stress going on in your life that you're just really anxious all the time. So it's going to be really hard for you to slow down and talk slow if you're walking around like this and you're really stressed out. Your timing is affecting your pacing. So if you could change your timing, if you could become aware of what's causing you to speak at the rate you're speaking at, and then begin to shift your patterns systematically, you'll be pausing when you need to, using the right pace to fit the goal, to fit the audience, and to fit the content. And pacing is what you need to focus on. So if you want to give somebody some really good advice when it sounds like their language is just coming at you hard and fast and you don't understand it, you might tell them, examine your pacing, instead of talk slow. Now, if they don't know what that means, that's okay, because you can send them to me. Thanks for listening.